Hey everyone, Kaylee here with this Faux Bob tutorial. Faux Bobs have really come into style over the last couple years. They've gone from being kind of cheesy ways to make your hair look shorter to being an actual updo style with a couple elements. So let's talk about what you don't do with a Faux Bob. First of all, you don't make a big, fuzzy, hairy mess. It's not cute. Second of all, don't look at it as a way just to hide your hair. That's kind of what it was a little bit ago, but now it's a little bit more stylized. So what you should do instead is think of making shapes with your Faux Bob and create a great texture with it. Additionally, don't be afraid to make a statement. So with all those things in mind, let's get started. First of all, we're going to make a base. To make your base, you're going to separate your hair from the ears up all the way around and then secure the hair that's over your ears out of the way. Then you're going to create a nice tight ponytail at the nape of your neck and secure it with a headband. This is going to be the base that we pin into. Then you want to take a bun form and actually create a little sock bun. If you guys don't know how to do a sock bun, you can always Google it. I feel like everybody has seen a tutorial on it by now. And you can do this with a sock if that's all you have, but I really think kind of a bun maker is a little better because you can pin into that. And you can find those at drugstores or beauty supply stores. Also, it's okay if this is messy because we're going to cover it up, but it is actually better to go ahead and make it a little bit neater than I did because that way if it peeks through, nobody can tell. And then let the rest of your hair down. Now for step 2, we're going to curl the back of the hair. So to go ahead and start out with the back, you want to separate the sides out of the way. So take all the hair that's in front of your ears and pin it out of the way. Then we're going to move on to curling the back, and I'm using a 3/4 inch iron and just wrapping my hair around it. I didn't even section my hair, I just went ahead and curled every little bit. If you have a lot of hair, you might want to section it just to make sure that you get everything while you're doing that. And now we're going to move on to pinning the back. So I went ahead and took this in 3 separate sections to make sure that I pinned it really well. So I started out with the stuff that's just over the bun. So I gathered it together and made sure that the curls were falling over the top of the bun so that it wouldn't peek through. And then you hold your fingers just a couple inches underneath the bun and wrap your hair around 2 or 3 fingers to create kind of a donut shape. Then you roll that donut shape up until it's right underneath the bun and pin it in place. Before you pin it, go ahead and take your hand and just loosen up the curls a little bit. That way they don't look too tight and they still have a nice kind of loose airiness about them and they look a little bit more effortless. And then crisscross your pins to hold it in place. And as you see, we have that already ponytail right there, so it actually kind of holds it a lot better than if the hair was just loose. Then you're going to repeat that on either side, joining the hair right next to our first little donut that we pinned in. Now you can see that we didn't have to do any teasing because that bun is there. It creates a lot of shape because you have all that extra volume there from the little bun form. So then you don't have to do any teasing and then you don't end up with any nastiness in the hair so it doesn't look ratty or fuzzy, which, you know, it's not a pretty look. So doing this creates shape, it creates a statement, and it also keeps you from creating an undesirable effect on your hair. So it's just a good way to go all the way around. So once you've got those 3 sections pinned in the back, then you are all done with the back and we're ready to move on to the next section. For our next section, we're going to curl the front, and you're going to curl going away from the face in small sections. And you just want to let these fall. It's totally fine to let them just do whatever. And then once you only have maybe 2 or 1 section left, what you're going to do is run your fingers through the curls, and that kind of replaces teasing. It's going to help to bulk out the hair a little bit so that it doesn't break when we try to roll and pin it back, and it still keeps the texture looking really nice. And then you do the last 1 or 2 sections and you don't mess with those curls so that you have those nice pretty ringlets sitting on top and creating a lot of visual interest in the style. Once you have all that curled, you're going to go ahead and just use your fingers to kind of loosen it up a tiny bit. And then you're going to repeat the same thing on the other side, curling a couple of sections and leaving the top section, and then you kind of run your fingers through it again to kind of bulk it out a little bit. And then finish by curling the top sections and just letting them fall so that they look nice and pretty and not like fluffed out or anything like that. And then we're going to move on to pinning the front. And for this, we're using the exact same method that we used for the back. You just wrap it around 2 fingers, and then once you have that kind of donut shape formed, roll it up and pin it against our previous sections. You can see the donut shape right there. And then you pin it and it's all done. And if you have any little pieces that fall out, you can either pin them back up or you can let them fall just depending on your personal taste. Now, the only thing to worry about when you're pinning this is that you make sure that you don't pull the curls out. If you pull this really tight, you won't be able to have those curls looking nice and springy. So just make sure that you're not putting any tension on the hair while you're pinning it. And once you have all that done, if you want to, you can pull the hair back on one side and pin it in place, and even put a sparkly accessory over it if you want to. I kind of felt like it because I liked how that looked better from the front, but that's just me. You don't have to if you don't want to. And that is it. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I think it's a really great, pretty easy way to get a really pretty faux bob this holiday season. And if you guys try it out, definitely send me pictures. I would love to see. I'll see you guys in my next video. Mwah! Bye!